Hey everybody, I just want to make a video about driving with Uber. It's a good service. It's definitely a good in between jobs because when I transitioned from a warehouse to PepsiCo, me and PepsiCo had a few difficulties of agreements as how you work out in stores. That's a whole nother story. But from that, I got let go. So what I decided to do was listen to my girlfriend, where she suggests, hey, why don't you just drive with Uber? I decided to check it out. Went through the whole background process of them checking my DMV records, um, see if I have any criminal things on me, which I clearly don't. Um, Once everything came back all good, then I was good to go. So when I first started, it was really nervousing me at first. But when you get past the first few customers, it start to wear on you in a good way. So what I'm trying to get at is when I took my first passenger, I let him know that, hey, this is my first day on the job. He was very understanding and accepting. Not everybody would do that, just saying, not to scare you, but he understood. So I did my first pickup and drop off. Felt pretty good. Had a couple of bucks in my pocket. Now, how payments work per week, you'll get paid at the end of every business week through direct deposit, of course. Just remember that you had to account for all your taxes because they don't take out and do a W-2. I think it's like a 1098G or something like that. So you're going to have to wind up going to the IRS website to try to do the math of how much you bring it in, how much you should take out. Just be aware that it takes no taxes at all out. So just try to sit money to the side, collect receipts about how much gas that you're sitting there filling into your car, because you can do that as a write-off at the end of the year, which isn't bad because let's just say you got to pay $3,000 in taxes. Maybe the receipts would knock off about $500 at the end of the year. And $2,500 ain't that much if you really think about it, because we talk about the course of the entire year, because we talk about a big lump sum that at the end of the year that you got to pay back, but it's really not that much. The whole system is based off a rating system that you got to at least try to maintain 4.3 and up, but I suggest that you try to maintain a 4.4 or 4.5 and up. If you got a 4.8, you become like one of the Uber, let's just say, premier drivers. And what that is when you driving with Uber, you generally get they generally select you to get the best driver, you get the best riders, and you being the best driver, they get to have the best selection of getting the best driver if they are 4.8. That's going off memory, okay? So driving in Philadelphia wasn't too bad. I drove before Pope Francis came. Wasn't that bad. People was just talking about like how he's gonna come, said he's gonna get locked down. Of course, we already know how all that turned out in Philadelphia. So it was a bit chaotic to see the city getting repaired, roads getting digged up, to get paved over. City wanted to decide to do this now. They could have did this any other time, but they decided to do this because they got like a deal with Pope. But whole nother story. Got to get back to the Uber thing. So at the end of the day, Uber is a good service if you're looking for an in-between job. Personally, in my experience. But if you was looking for Uber to do full-time, I know a few cats that actually took it full-time, actually helped them out, loving the service. Just trying to let you be aware, don't park on streets that you're not supposed to park on. Know where traffic stops are at, because you can tune it out if you're working a long day, and you can probably like blow by signs. Know that you're not supposed to park in the loading zones. You got to communicate with your customers so you can know exactly where to pick up and drop off at. And don't be too scared to ask questions, because it can actually help you out big time in the long run. Just be friendly and try to stay with a positive mind, because this is a whole customer service system. And if you drop below 4.3, then you're going to lose your job. And if you really want this job, this is the best way possible. Please be aware that this is a dangerous job, like any job could be, but it can actually be a very rewarding job. Conduct yourself very respectfully, and you can actually wind up being very successful in this job. Have been success stories that have been blown up a little bit, but it's success stories nonetheless, and it can actually help benefit you in the long run. I hope this video shares some light about like how to work with Uber. If you want to be a driver, if you're a rider, these drivers are checked out thoroughly. Please do not be discouraged at all. Don't be scared. This is a good service for you. It's a couple of bucks for you taking compared to riding with a taxi cab driver. They're very terrible people. Everybody has experience with them. You rarely get a good experience with a cab driver. Just try to service out driver and riders alike, and you'll see that this is actually something pretty good, and I hope everybody really enjoys the experience, because I think this is very revolutionary, and it is awesome to actually connect with your drivers and riders at a very fundamental level. So please don't be deterred about this whole new revolutionary app, because this actually is very beneficial when you really need it in a pinch. Both sides. Alright. And the last note, Philadelphia is a tough city to drive in, but when you get the shortcuts, you get the days that you're supposed to drive and the morning times that you're supposed to drive, it is actually quite easy to maneuver after a while. Just be aware of the PPA. Do not play any games. And that's why I want to end my video.